10 o'clock, so let's go ahead and let Jeremy take over with our thought for today. And I'm going to spotlight Jeremy. And I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, thanks, Dawn. Hopefully most of you aren't disappointed that it's not Janica. When you looked at the stretch with the leader, and she asked me to fill in for her today, and I'm super appreciative of that opportunity. And thanks, Dawn, for giving me some time this morning. Well, my name's Jeremy Drecksel. I'm the Director of Health Promotion and Wellness for SelectHealth. My responsibilities really are providing our products and our solutions and services to all of our lines of business, commercial, individual, small employer, large employer, our government relations with FEHB, the Federal Employees Health Benefits Plan, as well as Medicaid and some efforts for Medicare. And we also support community relations. And we're not just in one region, we're all geographies throughout all of SelectHealth. So we go to many different states. So it's a fantastic job. I got a great team that helps support and work through that. And so what I wanted to share with you today really was a tour of my workout room. And this is down in my basement. This is a dungeon, and there's some relevance to it. So some of you, I hope I don't get you dizzy by taking my camera along with me. But, what I'm going to start with here is just behind me here is what I call my power rack. That's I probably spent more time than I deserve in that cage. But certainly something that's helped me out with my personal endeavors. Then you've got two unique pieces of equipment back here. One is called a glute hamstring machine, and then the one next to it is called a reverse hyper machine for some low back strengthening and support. Of course, I've got a Schwinn Airdyne. I've got a treadmill. I've got a power rack back there, a Smith's cage or a Smith's rack that's used. I've got a series of, some dumbbells, some mats, an exercise ball, etc. And then, can't forget the chalk bowl. The reason why it's dusty down here is not because it's not used. It's because there's always a lot of chalk dust flying around. But anyway, part of my Be Well moment today, and I'm going to share my screen with you, is just, why do you have all that stuff? What's the interest behind having your own workout facility, etc., or your own workout room? And so as this populates and comes through, let me put this in presentation mode. One of the things I really love about Intermountain is the creation of different things to help support us in our endeavors. And with Be Well, I'm talking kind of about that 10 o'clock time period, right? That physical piece. But for me and my interest, this workout room really kind of helps all those other 9 elements, to be honest with you. And so it's been a big support for me in my personal life. And I might get into some of the reasons why somebody would ask, why do you have all that stuff? Well, I love quotes. One of the quotes I love is do something you love every day. I love weightlifting. I love it because it's helped support me in powerlifting and competition. So I didn't just, happen across getting some exercise equipment, etc. I actually built 90% of the stuff that's in this room. And, I learned at a young age how to weld. And so it was a hobby, and it's helped, financially, because some of the stuff in here is expensive if you try to go out and buy those commercial type things. But, part of doing something you love every day helps motivate you and keeps you sustained with those things that maybe are fabrics of who you are. And I've competed in powerlifting since I was 14 years of age. I've had some bumps and bruises. Many of our orthos has helped support putting me back together for some wear and tear type things. But what I wanted to do this morning was put together a word cloud, and really to try to focus on what are the science-based benefits of strength training, and share that message with you in that physical domain. And so I'm going to read them off to you. Number 1 and 2 are pretty simple, but strength training increases your muscle strength. Number 2, it builds your muscles. Number 3, it improves bone density and reduces the risk of osteoporosis. Number 4, it improves heart health and reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease. Number 5, it increases metabolism and helps you burn fat. Number 6, increases joint mobility and flexibility. Number 7, improves insulin sensitivity and glucose tolerance. Number 8, improves cognitive function. It sends oxygen to your brain and helps your brain out. Number 9, reduces the risk of certain cancers, colon, bladder, kidney cancers. Number 10, reduces your risk of injury. Number 11, improves sleep quality and duration. Number 12, enhances athletic performance and physical function. Number 13, increases self-esteem and confidence. Number 14, reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes. Number 15, improves immune system function. Number 16, reduces risk of falls in older adults. Number 17, improves sexual function and libido. Number 18, reduces symptoms of depression and anxiety. Number 19, improves the blood lipid profile. And number 20, improves our overall quality of life. And so hopefully there's at least one of those things, one of those science-based things that resonate with you to maybe start that journey of doing some strength training. And the national organizations, those gold standards, recommend you do it at least 2 times a week, anywhere from 45 to 60 minutes. And I might just add, I really believe it's part of the fountain of youth, strength training for sure. And so this is just my last quote, kind of my last slide. Remember why you started. A lot of times the battle really is between the ears, and it is for me as well. And sometimes lifting heavy weights can be a little bit of discouraging, but it can also be super successful and super rewarding. And so I love it. And Dawn, thanks so much for the opportunity this morning to share the Be Well message with you, and let me take a little bit of all of you into my dungeon or my basement with me and show you what I've got. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy. That's so great. I personally, I do some weightlifting, but I am a rock climber and a yogi, and both of those are body weight exercises. And I know that there's so many benefits to any kind of weight lifting exercises that you can do, or weight bearing exercises that you can do. And a part of that for me is to make sure that I'm also keeping everything super mobile with some stretching. So that's what we'll do now. We'll get into some stretching. I'm going to move myself back so that you can hopefully see. And just really encourage you to find what it is that you love, what makes you happy when you do some movement. And especially as we age, because we all are, start to add weights, right? Start to add weight-bearing activities, start to add weights. In yoga, sometimes we do some things with handheld weights like yoga sculpt. So lots of different things. But we're going to go through the body a little bit and do some stretching so that you'll be more prepared to maybe lift some of those weights later, okay? So let's start from our feet and move our way up. First thing I want you to do is just 1 foot at a time. Pull your toes up towards your nose. Pull your toes up towards your nose, and you can hold on to a wall here if you want to. And we're just giving our calves a little bit of that added length here. And with this particular stretch, sometimes we're getting more into the top part of the calf. That's the gastrocnemius, if you like to know the body parts. And we're also going to get into the lower part of the calf in just a moment. So now, if you have a wall, you can hold on to it, or a desk. But we're going to put our toes up again out in front of us, so right foot. And to get into the lower part of the calf, we're going to bend our knee toward the wall. And then switch feet. Toes up on the wall, bend your knee toward the wall. And then switch feet again, one more time. Toes up on the wall, bend your knee toward the wall. And switch feet. Toes up, bend your knee. Okay, so now we often stretch the calves, but we forget about the front part, the shins. So you can hold the wall if you want to here. We're going to stay upright and turn the toes down so you're in more of a point here, or a plantar flex. And as you work your leg as straight as you can, lift your heart up high. And then switch. As you turn the toes here and lift, and make the leg as straight as you can, torso lifted, makes that long length of the entire front chain of the leg and the torso happen. So one more time on each side, lifting up through the torso, lengthen and straighten the leg as much as is comfortable, and then switch one more time. Okay, and so now both feet on the ground, hands to your hips. Just take a moment to bend one knee at a time. And as you bend one knee at a time, you can even let yourself notice the length of the calf as your leg becomes straight. And then maybe the length of the shin and the dorsiflexion as your knee bends. And now we're going to use the wall again or your desk, either one, to walk your hands onto the wall or your desk and walk your feet back. So now you have more of an almost downward facing dog pose. And as you bend one knee at a time here, you're trying to push your sitting bones further back toward the center of your room, and then lift up with your sitting bones and work your legs as straight as they can be without locking your knee joints. A little hamstring stretch. And then work your feet back toward the wall and stand on up. And now with your hands at your hips, we're going to circle the hips around in one direction. And then circle the hips around in the other direction. And now let's get more into the forearms, the arms, and then we'll do a couple of neck stretches. So hands together into a prayer position. And as you pull your hands down below your chest, or at least level with your chest, you're working on a deep flexion of the wrist. Elbows get to lift a little bit, and then draw your shoulder blades onto your back. And now pressing palms together, pressing fingertips together, slow motion. Move your fingertips downward and then back upward, downward, and then back upward. One more time, downward and back upward. You may or may not notice some different parts of the tendon, different parts of the forearm getting the stretch there. And then back to back with your hands. And you're spreading your fingers out, trying to touch your fingernails together. Elbows get to drop down as much as is comfortable without separating the backs of your hands. Put your shoulder blades on your back. And then again, you're moving your fingers forward and back. And as you move them slowly, you may or may not notice some of those areas through the forearm, through the wrist, that experience a different sensation when you move. Okay, shake out your hands. And now for our neck, turn your head over to the right side, tuck your chin down. If you'd like, you can hold the back of your head here with your right hand, but reach the left arm across your back toward the opposite hip, and then lift your shoulder up and back on the left side. Take an exhale and tuck a little further down with your chin. Then inhale back upright, turn your head over to the left side and tuck your chin down, holding the back of your head here if you would like. Reach right arm across your back. Move your right shoulder blade further up and back. Take a big exhale and tuck your chin further down. Inhale back upright. And now one more stretch. So this one, you're either making fists at your low back or you're clasping, whichever feels most comfortable on your shoulders today. A little bend to your knees so then you can squeeze glutes to push into the ground and lift through your front ribs. Let your shoulders lift up and back. Hug the elbows back toward each other. And from here, head and neck in line with your spine. So think about letting your neck curl back at the same rate as your chest. Then inhale upright, release your arms, shake them out. And then that is the last stretch that we're going to do today, because we could go on forever, but we don't have time. So hopefully that helped you work through your body a little bit and get out there and do some exercise that you love that makes you feel good in your body. Jeremy, thank you so much for sharing today. I'm going to repaste the form in the chat for you so that you can put your code in there this morning. And then I'm going to share my screen. And here is this morning's code, STR9269. STR9269. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day. STR9269. And if you do have any issues with the code or with the link, email fitness@imail.org. They're pretty quick to help or respond. STR9269. Thanks so much, everybody. See you again soon.